Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my channel, This Chick Budgets. We are doing a middle of the month budget. I know I'm a little bit late. This really should have been posted at the beginning of the week, but we had a car accident in our family that we had to help out with and deal with. But we have some extra income this pay period, so let's see what damage we can do. All right, so this is my spread for March, and we are in the pay period of March 15th. So I had some extra income this pay period. My brother-in-law has sent a portion of what he owes for back help, and I also have some side hustle money as well as some overtime to calculate. So we are going to see what our bills look like. Our bills are absolutely chock full, and some of these bills are only a one-time bill. Things like our tolls. We go see family, we have tolls to pay. Also, we have our tax prep to file our taxes, and we have a little bit of a residual balance from our camera purchase for the outside of our property and our home that we had to purchase basically the weekend after we paid the card off, and that would be our Amazon card. Not something that I am happy about whatsoever, but it is what it is. So we are going to put a minimal balance of, or a minimum payment, I should say, of $50 this pay period. So that is going to be an addition, but these other two are just one-time bills that will not be ongoing. So our income was $38.20. My brother-in-law was able to send us $300 of what he owed us for February, as he did lose his job. So that did help quite a bit, as well as some side hustle money, which gave us $38.20 in income. Our bills really didn't change much. I didn't really go up on any bills. I basically kept the minimum payments. The only additional bill that I did include, due to us having some extra money, was paying on this very first Synchrony card. This is our Synchrony card that we used to get tires on my husband's truck before we went to go get storage, as we needed tires in order to drive there and get that storage unit out. So that would have taken care of that bill. So we still owe on this Synchrony credit card, and it is due to be paid off, I believe, the end of October. And the reason why I'm putting $50 extra on this card is because this Synchrony card is 0% interest. That 0% interest kicks in November 1st. I do not want that to happen. So I need to pay this card off even quicker than I was initially trying to pay off my highest balance credit card, because this deadline is quickly approaching. So I changed up my strategy just a little bit, and I'm going to put $50 more on that card so that I can speed up the process. I was also able to take care of that late fee on the second Synchrony that I was due to pay this pay period. I was short last pay period. I was unable to make this payment. I knew that attached would be a $30 late charge. My husband was able to take care of that, but when he does come home, he forgets quite often. Totally forgot to change the due date during the same phone call. So I am still waiting on that. I did take care of that late fee, bringing it down to $133. And like I said, we have our tax prep and our tolls. The total for all of our bills, including credit cards and tax repayment and all of our other normal month-to-month bills, came up to $3,058. Now, I also had to roll in my car loan, which doesn't normally come out of the middle of the month. It normally comes out at the beginning of the month. I did run into some troubles, as my brother-in-law was not able to pay for 2 months, which shorted our normal income by about $600. So I made that up in other ways, and it put us a little bit short last pay period. So that is the other bill that got bumped to this pay period. Synchrony 2 is not normally paid in the middle of the month. My car loan is not normally paid in the month, and I normally do not pay tax prep or tolls. So I have quite a bit of money that was supposed to help pay down my third credit card that I did not have extra because I had to switch pay periods of which these were due. So we did run into a little bit of a conundrum. I was unable to change due dates at the beginning of the month to the middle of the month, which is okay, we'll deal with it. But that did leave me with $762 left over. Normally, I know that our variable expenses, which is our once a month expenses, not every pay period, our once a month expenses included our entire food budget, our gas for 2 vehicles, one of which takes diesel, which is highly more expensive than gas, our miscellaneous, and our date night. That is for the entire month. So I was able to get our food, and I did go over by $12, which I took away from our date night. We did have to put more diesel in our lawnmower in order to upkeep our property, which we pushed as long as we could possibly push it. It had to be done at this point. Because of that, I didn't have enough in my equipment sinking fund to accommodate the entire bill. That had to come from somewhere. So the residual came out of our date night and basically ate up our entire date night expenses. So technically, this date night $100 became combined with our fuel cost because we had to fill our lawnmower, which is a commercial lawnmower. That was probably another $100, leaving only our miscellaneous, which I didn't spend all of that, which helped buy a couple extra prep items for our food pantry. So this had its own purpose, and I didn't have any wiggle room with that, leaving me with just $12. Now, normally I wouldn't say that $12 would be a very big deal because we save a lot of our sinking funds in the middle of each month, which helps offset a lot of cost. However, this $12 did not make enough for our animal feed. Every pay period, or I should say every month, this gets brought down to zero. All of our other sinking funds add up each month. This animal feed sinking fund goes to zero each month. So I am just going to hold the $12 in this account, waiting until next pay period, or if I can do another side hustle in the meantime to offset those costs. I wasn't able to put an additional payment on our third credit card, which is fine. My brother-in-law is in the midst of his new job. He is in the middle of catching up himself. So I have 1 month, which is for February. I have March, which is $300 left coming. And I did make some changes. So I think that $300 is going to come next week. I am not going to count it in my budget as the money is not sitting in my account as of this video. And I don't want to count money in my budget, and I don't want to pay everything out when my budget is complete if I don't have all the money in my account electronically in my hands. So I did not count his $300 for next week. Now, next week, we also get paid again. That is going to amp up the first of the month's paycheck, which is awesome. I am always finagling money in the first of the month. So that is going to be our saving grace for next paycheck. So this is my favorite part, y'all. My favorite part. So I do a lot cashless. I am not really a cash person. I do keep some cash, usually under $100 at home. We do live in an environment where cash is king. So I did do some side hustles. One of those side hustles was I did sell some chicks. So I do have $15 cash that will go and help toward our feed that I wasn't able to put in our animal sinking fund. Earlier in this video, I said that I wasn't able to put any more than $12 in that sinking fund. I normally have to have at least $30. It's usually $27, but I wanted to account for tax, so I rounded that sinking fund to $30. This is another $15 on top of the $12 that I have, giving me $27 to buy animal feed. So this is going to help out tremendously, and now I have that sinking fund full. So we are doing our payoff trackers. I did make a payment this pay period toward our pest control loan, and I am going to mark off one payment. Now, each of these payments equals my normal payment. And that one is done. My mower loan, I also made a payment this pay period. I also made payments to my student loans. Now, I do show on my budget of 118, and that 118 is actually 3 different loans. So I have my loan payoff separated by each loan in particular. 50, 323. Now let's see if we've paid off anything. See if we've made it. So I've got 49, 49, 50, 50, 50. We've paid off 298. So I have actually paid off 10%. So I already paid off this bottom coin. How awesome is that? All right. So we are doing the next one. Now let's see if I've got it. 45 plus 45, 46, 46, 274. I paid off 10%. All right. And we did make a payment on this one. And I believe we've got 10% on this one also. $154, we needed to meet 137. We got 10% there too. Auto loan payoff, I did pay another payment, so I am going to color in another car. I did not make any extra payments on my house this year, so this has not been filled out yet. So these are all of my payoff trackers now filled out and colored in, and we're making progress. That it actually looks like we're making a dent. So I couldn't be more happier with that. Now I did make some changes. Our sinking funds have all been drained, which is why it bothers me so much that I can't put money into this account these accounts this month. We are all at zero, or I should say 5 cents. I keep 5 cents in all of my little bank accounts because I do everything cashless. All of our sinking funds have been drained as of this past weekend. Oh my gosh. So parenting is never over, y'all. It never ends. So my youngest son, he had a mishap, and basically in the end had a $2,000 deductible. So that $2,000 deductible, he could not pay for. So my family rallied together, and his deductible is now paid, which a portion of that came from our sinking funds, which was not much. But anything that we could help him out, we did. So my sinking funds are now dropped to zero. I also spoke with my brother-in-law, and his amount of help has been raised. So that will help us out tremendously in our middle of the month and beginning of the month pay periods. I also have another side hustle that is in the midst. Like I said, our Amazon card is back. We are only at this point paying off the amount we spent to install property cameras. So that is where that balance is coming from. That is why I have a $50 balance, or I should say $50 payment going toward our Amazon card once again. It is also tax time. So that is where my tax prep of $250 came from. This is what our pay period looks like for this second half of March. I did the very best I could. Kept everything pretty much on time with the exception of the Synchrony 2 credit card, which I did deal with. Once this auto mishap is taken care of, hopefully next month or even next week's check, I'll be able to put some money into these accounts, as my brother-in-law is going to be making another payment next week and another payment after that to basically catch himself up. So we have some things happening. It's just happening slowly. You know, it is what it is. All I can do is move forward, be positive, and keep pushing. Thank you so much for tuning in to the second half of the month. I know it's a lot. You know, we did what we could. Just want to give everybody positive vibes. We can do this. We can get out of debt one pay period at a time. And that is just all we can do at this point. So good wishes to everyone. Keep pushing. Don't give up. And until next time, bye y'all.